It's time for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Vanessa Silvera. On today's program, the Ministry of Finance continues to inform us of programs and policies to create efficiency, improve service delivery, and drive economic growth. The details in Finance Matters. Plus, we help you understand the role of the Urban Development Corporation in protecting the environment and take you through the process of becoming a Jamaica national. There's more, so stay with us.
How many more must die because of reckless drivers? How fast is too fast? Make we take time, no man. Obey the rules of the road. Drive with care.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, November 3, 2022. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has given notice for a 14-day gun amnesty from November 5 to 19. His announcement came by way of an approval of the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Firearms Amnesty Order 2022 by the House of Representatives on Tuesday. The approval of the order also coincides with the new Firearms Act coming into effect on November 1.
As of today, anyone apprehended and charged by any of the identified criminal breaches under this act will now be subject to a new range of penalties dealing with prohibited weapons, that is, ranging from 15 years to life imprisonment.
The amnesty allows persons who are in possession of illegal firearms or ammunition, or those for whom no license or authorization exists, to surrender the weapons to the state without fear of prosecution. Licensed firearm holders with expired authorizations can also surrender their weapons under the amnesty. The National Security Minister says once the amnesty expires, the full force of the law will be applied to anyone found in possession of illegal firearms or ammunition.
We have recovered some 3,800 illegal firearms on the streets of Jamaica and 53,000 rounds since 2018. Each year we have seized just over 625 firearms, and during the course of this year, up to October 31, we have already seized 652 firearms and removed them from the streets of Jamaica, representing somewhat of an 11% increase of what happened last year.
Firearms or ammunition may be surrendered to any sub-officer or senior sub-officer on duty at any police station or any designated officer at any location of the Firearms Licensing Authority. The illegal weapons may also be surrendered to an attorney at law on behalf of an individual seeking the amnesty. The attorney should then deliver the items to the nearest police station. Minister Chang is giving assurance that the identity of persons complying with the amnesty will not be revealed. In other news, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is implementing a comprehensive plan to address the discovery of a cluster of Klebsiella pneumoniae infections at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. The plan was created to address issues identified after the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SERA, discovered a bacterial infection at the hospital in July, triggering an immediate investigation and ministry notification. Dr. Tufton says the initial investigation revealed a high patient-to-staff ratio and non-conformance with some infection prevention and control IPC measures. In a statement to Parliament on Tuesday, he reported that the health team at the hospital had been implementing remediation measures following the cluster of cases.
Towards the end of August, I was briefed on the situation at VGH by the team at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. By then, the efforts, I am happy to say, appear to have been working with a decline in the number of deaths. Every death is unfortunate, Madam Speaker, but there was a substantial decline. And there were 2 deaths in August, 2 in September, coming from 7 in July, and there were no deaths in October.
Out of an abundance of caution, the health minister says the Pan American Health Authority, PAHO, was also invited to assess the situation, and the ministry is now awaiting that agency's final report.
And at the same time, it asked them to look at other institutions, since they were going to be here, Spanish Town and Bustamante in particular. Madam Speaker, I am now awaiting the final report from PAHO.
In the meantime, the plan drafted to address the issues identified in the ministry's investigation include increased surveillance and activation of the Emergency Operations Center. Routine cleaning protocols are also being evaluated, and team members are being retrained in infection prevention and control protocols. Klebsiella pneumoniae is a bacterium that is responsible for a significant proportion of hospital-acquired infections. These include pneumonia and soft tissue infections, especially in immunocompromised individuals such as newborn children or neonates. The health minister has expressed condolences to the family and loved ones of the babies who have succumbed to Klebsiella pneumoniae infections. Meanwhile, the Minister with responsibility for information, Robert Morgan, is asserting that the government has full confidence in Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton's ability to manage his portfolio. His comments come in defense of the health minister and the measures taken to deal with the discovery of a cluster of Klebsiella pneumoniae infections at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital.
We have very full confidence in Minister Tufton's ability to manage the portfolio. He has done a pretty exemplary job in very challenging times, coming through COVID. Also, he has been on a transformational push in terms of improving health facilities. The minister has been doing good stewardship, and he has full confidence of the government.
Minister Morgan was responding to questions posed during this week's post-cabinet media briefing held at Jamaica House. He says cabinet received a detailed report on the matter from the health minister on Monday, October 31.
Prime Minister was informed previously. He was informed the Wednesday before as it relates to the issues that were at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. In listening to the report from the minister, listening to all the facts that have come forward, the system worked.
Tourism arrivals for October are set to surpass pre-pandemic levels as the sector continues to recover strongly. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Jennifer Griffith, says preliminary figures for the first 3 weeks of October show stopover arrivals of 123,514, which was 10,026 more than the same period in 2019.
I expect the number to be even more impressive when the cruise figures are tallied. These figures underscore the unified commitment of all stakeholders to putting our best foot forward and innovating in the marketplace to come out better on the other side of 2 years of disruption.
Ms. Griffith gave the update while delivering a speech on behalf of Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett at the recent Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association JHTA 60th Anniversary Gala Dinner. In other tourism news, Jamaica has launched a new advertising campaign inviting people to come back to their best selves in Jamaica. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says that while the world has been impacted by the pandemic, the goal is to let everyone know that Jamaica is good for the spirit. The campaign was created by the Jamaica Tourist Board, JTB's advertising agency of record, Accenture Song. It showcases Jamaica's picturesque natural attractions and its friendly, welcoming people, utilizing over 50 local Jamaican crew members across locations spanning from Portland to St. Anne, and original music created by Jamaican producers. Director of Tourism Donovan White says the goal was to really show people what Jamaica is all about and what differentiates it from other competitive destinations. He says the approach was to create aspirational itineraries tailored to 3 categories of persons: adventure seekers, family planners, and seasoned travelers. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
To deal with crime and violence, we must be united. Please cooperate with the security forces. Call 311-119 or the JDF tip line. If you know something and you not talk, you're a part of the problem.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
On Finance Matters today, we look at how the Jamaica Stock Exchange is providing 24 hours of news and information on business, financial, and capital market developments to more than 30 countries across the Caribbean.
Stocks, bonds, trading. Are you an investor? Do you want to know what's happening in the Jamaican stock market? Are you an entrepreneur planning to list your company on the stock market? The Caribbean Business Exchange, CBX, is the newest Caribbean channel that focuses on the business of the region. CBX is a branch of the Jamaica Stock Exchange and was introduced to the public on Wednesday, August 24, 2022. The channel will include regular updates, market news, and programming that reflects the local business reality. Hi, I am Shaquille Rochester Shorter and welcome to Finance Matters. Today I will be speaking with Mr. Fitzroy Prendergast, Chief Technical Consultant and Station Manager at CBX, about the channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow the Ministry of Finance on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn to see all the episodes and highlights. Mr. Prendergast, thanks for joining us today and welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me.
First things first, where can we find CBX channel to watch it?
CBX is on channel 143 on Flow and channel 28 on Digicel. Currently we are in discussions with Ready TV and other providers both in Jamaica and externally in the United States and in of course the tri-state area, because we are intent on going in that area as well.
So why is having CBX channel so important for the Jamaican economy?
Well, CBX, as the name suggests, Caribbean Business Exchange, has a mandate to demystify the markets. Stock market tends to be for persons who are more rigid, more sophisticated in terms of understanding bonds and stocks and that sort of thing. We want the regular Jamaican to understand what these things mean and how it can benefit their lives.
So CBX will be breaking down terms like bonds, stock, and so forth for regular audience like myself?
Absolutely. If you watch our newscast, which is at 6 p.m. each night, we have market education, and what that does, it explains a term that may have been loaded for long and may not be understood by many people in very simple language. And that's one of the roles that we think we ought to take on as we try to educate the populace so that they can understand finance, business, and obviously get in tune with what is happening so they can be better investors.
So on that note, tell us more about the programming that is offered on the channel.
Absolutely. So for a start, we have our newscast. Our prime time slot is 6 to 7, where we have our business news, and that focuses not only on Jamaican content, and it's very important to stress that it's a Caribbean network. And what that does, currently we're in 15 territories, and so the news is Caribbean based, and it does have a local segment, a regional segment, and an international segment. And also it does have regional updates. So for instance, a Trinidad market, which trades a lot more than say Barbados, in our nightly newscast, we do have updates on the Trinidad market. Obviously we have companies in Jamaica like Massey, who is in Trinidad as well, and many others. So we actually need to provide real-time information as it relates to that. So yes, our newscast, also we have every morning at 9 o'clock, Let's Talk Stocks, a centerpiece of our programming, because that's what we are about. That's what the stock exchange is all about. Also, we have programming such as Inside the Boardroom, where you talk to an executive as it relates to their company, the trajectory, plans, and so on and so forth. And Behind the Front Decks, which means we go into companies and see, let's say, how things are produced. So you're using Berger paints. How does the paint that you use, how is it produced? That's important, because if you're going to invest in a company, you actually want to know how it is produced, and you can have a better understanding and feel as to whether or not you want to be involved in this company and so on. So some of the major programs are programs like that, and as we roll out other programs, we invite persons who have business ideas, great business ideas, and who want to approach us. Certainly we don't expect to own all the programs, but we understand that Jamaica needs, we're also shortly coming with a program, Sports Exchange, which will be hosted by Carol Beckford, and that's going to be a sports program with a business slant. And so there are many other programs, but certainly as we roll out, you'll see that certainly into early 2023, that there will be a lot more programs. That
Any
will entice
entertainment
us.
program?
Entertainment, yes. We are expecting to have a game show. You're pulling me out. A business game show shortly. That takes a lot of planning, and so we expect that will be on board very soon.
So if you're to say to someone who is not familiar with stocks, bonds, or trading or investment of any kind, what's one thing that you'd say is a reason for them to watch CBX channel? Just one thing, just say, watch CBX because of this.
You're going to learn a lot.
Okay.
And if you learn, you're going to understand, and then you're able to make better decisions. So it is going to be fun, because learning is fun. And if you learn something new and you're able to apply that and you're able to benefit financially from that, what better way to keep doing it?
So what has been the general feedback? Since the channel has just recently been launched, what has been the general feedback?
The feedback has been tremendous. We've gotten feedback from all our stakeholders, all these financial houses in Jamaica, and they're very excited and thrilled. As a matter of fact, we have a lot of partnerships so far, and the response has been tremendous, because there was a niche that was not being supplied. Obviously, the two free-to-air television stations do a business segment, but new business requires a lot more than that. It requires in-depth, it requires, detailed analysis. And with a program, with a channel of this nature, where we're looking at details given to people in a way to demystify the markets and to help them to understand what their options are, people are really, really excited. So yes, not just in Jamaica. At the launch, we had people all the way from Oman.
I remember, yes,
right,
I remember.
joining all over the world, and Jamaicans are everywhere, and they're very excited about this channel, because it is going to be breaking new ground, new territories, and it's going to be really enlightening the public.
So just before we go, just remind our audience where they can watch CBX channel. Again,
your CBX, my CBX, channel 143 on Flow, channel 28 on Digital, and coming soon to Reggie TV as well.
Well, there you have it. Thank you, Mr. Prendergast, for joining us today and telling us about the CBX channel. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Finance Matters. Remember to follow us on social media at MOF Jamaica, and tune in next week as we continue to demystify the economic and fiscal policies and initiatives implemented by the government to empower Jamaicans as we chart a path to Jamaica's economic prosperity.
Did you know that there are 4 ways through which a non-national may be granted citizenship in Jamaica? These are either through descendant, marriage, naturalization, or registration. Let's break down the processes.
Welcome to this, our citizenship swearing-in ceremony. As of today, when asked what is your nationality, they can proudly say, I am Jamaican.
It feels good, it just feels good, to be a Jamaican today.
I'm Charles Opara, originally from Nigeria, but now I'm a Jamaican.
I'm here for 10 years. And today is a milestone, it's a great day. I feel great inside. And I'm looking forward for a greater things to happen.
This step you have taken shows that how much you have embraced Jamaica as your new home. And we look forward to you joining the fold to help us to build our great country with your continued contribution and commitment to Jamaica's growth and development. As Jamaicans know, you have the rights and privileges of any person who is born in Jamaica. Respect it and treat it well.
I will faithfully So how does a person become a Jamaican citizen? The process is either by descendant, marriage, naturalization, or registration. But first, you need to fill out an application form and submit it with all the required supporting documents to the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA. Granting citizenship through descendant means the person has to be an offspring of a Jamaican. The applicant must produce evidence to support this claim.
Then we would review the lineage to ensure that not only that your documents are authentic, but there is really a relationship between you and that Jamaican that you claim to be your foreparent.
If the process is done by way of marriage, the foreign national has to be married to a Jamaican. Commonwealth nationals usually apply through the registration process, and they would have to be living in Jamaica continuously for 5 years. Registration is also done for persons who are born in Jamaica but were not registered at the Registrar General's Department. As for naturalization, a similar accumulated number of 5 years are required for non-Commonwealth citizens who have satisfied the residential requirements and is of good background. Careful assessment is done on each application.
If when we conduct our due diligence, we find that you are unsuitable to be incorporated in the fabric of Jamaica, meaning that you have a bad criminal background, meaning that you are likely to become a nuisance or any of that sort, then the minister who has the responsibility to confer citizenship has the right to say no.
This person is the Minister of National Security.
The minister has the right to refuse an application on the basis of marriage if you have committed an offense for which you were sentenced for more than 2 years. And the same thing for registration and naturalization. We look in your background to see what kind of person are you, what kind of contribution you would be now making should citizenship be granted.
PICA also collaborates with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security to verify information.
With the Ministry of Labour, we work together to ensure that you who come to us for registration as a Commonwealth citizen or naturalization and you are employed, that you are properly operating under the Work Permit Act. So there is no breach of any law for the persons who are considered. They must be good citizens from the start.
And now that their citizenship is official?
I'm lost for words. It feels good. It feels good. Excited. You make you feel like you accomplished something. You're there. It's official now. You could say it in your mind that you're a Jamaican, but now you have the official proofs that I'm a Jamaican.
Today marks a very important day in my life, in the sense that for the past 9 years I've been living and working for the government and people of Jamaica. They have accepted me, having applied for the citizenship. And now I feel at home, fully relaxed, that I can now be with them in the land we love.
I always have a passion for Jamaica. It's like my home. There's something like a DNA connection with Jamaica.
As a resident, I have always tried to better my community, my neighborhood. As a citizen, I will aim at helping out and taking care of this paradise with all the resources at my disposal.
These persons are a representation of the Vision 2030 for Jamaica, which is Jamaica should be the place of choice for people to live, work, raise family, and do business.
In this next feature, we help you understand the role of the Urban Development Corporation in the stewardship of the environment.
Environmental management and monitoring are core responsibilities the Urban Development Corporation UDC carries out in protected areas in Negril, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Helsha Hills, part of Portland Bight, Port Royal and Palisadoes. As such, the corporation is committed to mitigating negative impacts on our natural resources through monitoring and enforcement by 6 environmental protection officers.
When we speak about natural resources, the simplest thing to think about is the environment and everything that it entails. So the plants, the animals, we're looking at the soil, water, all different aspects of it that all interrelate, and also how the people interact with it.
To reinforce its conservation measures, the UDC carries out sound environmental planning and monitoring, management of protected areas, as well as environmental education and outreach programs.
So we carry out monitoring either on a monthly or a quarterly basis. This gives us an idea of what the impact of anything that we're doing to the natural resources.
Some of these interventions involve bringing internal and external stakeholders together to carry out various activities to commemorate days that bring awareness to different areas of the environment.
Our largest activity to date has been International Coastal Cleanup Day. We have it in Hellshire, and we did collect a substantial amount of plastics and other garbage.
The conservation program is also extended to the critically endangered sea turtles.
So in St. Anne's in particular, we have started a program of monitoring the nests, seeing when they occur, ensuring that they're safeguarded while they are there, and then enable the hatchlings to be able to return to sea. So far in the last 3 years, we've had a very successful program. We've had over 2,000 hawkbill turtles returning to the sea.
A similar program is being carried out with the Jamaican iguana, another endangered species that is found in the Hellshire Hills area.
Young hatchlings are carried to the Hope Zoo, which they are nurtured until they get to a certain size and weight, and then they are returned to the wild. This is supposed to give them a competitive advantage against predators.
And did you know?
At the Green Grotto Caves, we actually have 11 out of the 21 species of bat that are found in Jamaica. So what we do is monitor the caves to ensure that the habitat is safe and suitable for the bats.
We also monitor to see what's going on with the crocodile. So for now, we look at the nest, we also look at the birds that are around, and to see how everybody is doing. So it's like we have a big ecosystem.
NEPA delegated the UDC with management authority over the Hellshire Hills in 1999, so that's another way in which we collaborate, and most recently an MOU to develop the Goat Islands.
Since then, the corporation has been working with stakeholders and other users of the area to carefully balance the development of urban settlements with the delicate ecology of the area.
For our non-governmental partners, one of our major partners is CCAM, which is the Caribbean Coastal Area Management Foundation. And with them, we partner in managing the Portland Bight area, which is the largest protected area in Jamaica.
I'd urge persons who are visiting and living within the boundaries of the protected area to not dispose of their garbage in irresponsible ways, because they eventually get to the marine environment.
The corporation ensures that it remains compliant with national and international environmental policies, legislations, and regulations by conducting monthly and quarterly checks of all its facilities and attractions. This is to ensure that these facilities are constantly at the required standard for safe use by patrons.
So the UDC also sits on the Beaches Control Committee, as well as the National Council of Ocean and Coastal Zone Management Committee, both of which are responsible for creating national policies relating to the conservation of the coastal zone across Jamaica.
The Urban Development Corporation, achieving sustainable development within the corporation's designated areas by creating a balance between development and management of natural resources. A prime example is the soon-to-be implemented Goat Island Wildlife Sanctuary.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Join us again tomorrow when we will bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send us your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. You may also find us on all major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Vanessa Silvera. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.